It should be. In the mornings, we usually see the dry conditions. It's once that heat and humidity build during the day that we start to see the showers and thunderstorms firing up, and that's what we're seeing out there right now. As we take a look at the radar, two clusters of thunderstorms, one south of the Albemarle Sound towards Turl and Washington counties, another cluster here mainly centered over portions of Chesapeake, and they've really only popped up over the last couple of hours, about 2 hours ago for these storms here, about an hour for the one over Chesapeake. And as we zoom in, you can see a few isolated showers or some broken areas of some of the shower and thunderstorm activity south of the state line, but the heaviest is right here centered bullseye right over Chesapeake from around the regional airport down towards Bear Quarter, Benefit, up Johnstown Road, up towards Great Bridge and Bells Mill, back towards Grassfield, Deep Creek, and just south of 64 working your way over towards Greenbrier. Greenbrier Mall is right there. So around Greenbrier and working your way into Virginia Beach, we've got some of that heavier rain, and then an even bigger cluster of thunderstorms through parts of Turl and Washington counties right now. So that's really stretched from around Cresswell over towards Columbia, Newlands, and over towards Alligator. That's slowly drifting off towards the west. So for the rest of the evening, just a few isolated showers and thunderstorms. I don't think everybody will see the rain, but you'll certainly see the dark skies and hear that thunder and see that lightning that's off in the distance. We'll time it out here with Futurecast. Notice 5 o'clock, the best chances continue across the south side into northeastern North Carolina. There could be a couple more showers off towards the north through the peninsula, middle peninsula, and northern neck and the eastern shore. And by about 9-10 o'clock, I think a lot of the activity will wind down as we lose that daytime heating. Muggy and warm tonight with partly cloudy skies and partly sunny skies as we start things tomorrow morning, getting ready for that race. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s, but again, that humidity will be pretty high as we start the day tomorrow. And then through the day, as we get that heat building, we'll start to see a chance for a few isolated showers and thunderstorms, probably about a 1 in 3 chance of seeing rain in your neck of the woods tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures in the mid 80s, very similar to where we were today. Things quiet down tomorrow night, and really on Sunday, much of the same. We'll lower those rain chances to about a 20% chance of rain on Sunday, and same thing as we get into Labor Day Monday. Now, earlier this morning, we had a lot of sunshine. Our Norfolk Skyview camera looking over downtown Norfolk and Portsmouth and the Elizabeth River. But as we got that heat building during the day, we saw those clouds start to bubble up. And then as we got into the later afternoon hours, we can see off in the distance those dark clouds rolling in from the storms across areas of Chesapeake. Temperature right now, 84 degrees. Humidity is at 76%. Winds coming out of the northeast at 12 miles per hour. It's 87 in Franklin, 88 in Newport News and Hertford, 73 in Chesapeake. That's the effects of that rain that's been falling there around the airport off West Road, 85 in Hampton and 88 degrees in Kill Devil Hills. So for tonight, isolated evening thunderstorms, muggy and warm, 87 tomorrow, isolated storms likely, partly sunny and hot, 74 tomorrow night and 88 degrees on Sunday. Isolated thunderstorm possible, so about a 20% chance of rain on Sunday. Same thing on Monday for Labor Day with a high temperature of 89 degrees, and then as the kids get ready to head back to school on Tuesday, 89 degrees with partly sunny skies, and we pretty much hold in the mid to upper 80s right through the end of the week.